by some distance the game of the Asia Cup 2022. An absolute cliffhanger game that ebbed and flowed with both teams in it and out of it at certain points. In the end, Sri Lanka have managed to go through and Bangladeshi hearts are broken. We will look back at a game that Asita Fernando will remember for a long time in his T20I debut, guilty of conceding the most expensive over while bowling the final of the Bangladesh innings that powered them to a score of 183. And then when all hope seemed to have been lost at the fall of the wickets of Dasun Shanaka and Chamika Karunaratne, you had Asita Fernando walk out thinking, can he get the runs with the bat? And he just needed to get a few and he managed it. An unforced error that eventually secures the deal in a game that was filled with errors in the second half by Bangladesh's bowlers. 12 extras in the form of wides and no balls, which would be dearly looked at this stage. Bangladesh go out, Sri Lanka go through. It makes for a compelling conversation in what was a compelling cricket match on Qatar Airways presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout. I will allow Shahriar Nafees to catch his breath, take a moment. I will take my breath in a moment too. I will first go to Farveez Maharoof to just try and sum up the emotion, the intensity around that game and what it means for Sri Lanka to come out on top. Farveez.
I just felt like I was in the middle. That I was nervous. I was there. So adrenaline is so high. I'm so happy for the team. They went through a lot after losing the Afghanistan game. The way the Sri Lankan team played, the way they chased down a mammoth score against a very good bowling attack. I thought full credit should go to Sri Lanka. And also for Bangladesh, apart from the extras, I think they fought really well. They bowled hard out. They fielded very well as well. I mean, there's no shame losing a game in this way. But they will be ruling the fact that when spinners bowl no balls, things go wrong big time for a team. So that's where I think Bangladesh was, very guilty of. But apart from that, what a game of cricket. It just sets up this Asia Cup brilliantly for the next round.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the game that this tournament needed, surely. We wanted a game where we weren't sure which way it's going to go. We got a close India-Pakistan game, but we knew little was riding on that, in all honesty. There'll be more riding on India-Pakistan games going forward once Pakistan, or if Pakistan beat Hong Kong tomorrow. But Shahriar Nafees, Bangladesh played terrific cricket for you. It's fair to say almost 30 or 33 or 34 of the 40 overs. Where have they lost it now that you've had a moment to just reflect?
Raunak, yesterday when we had the pre-show, I was saying that Bangladesh needs to do their basics right. When they came out to bat, they did everything right. If you look at the fielding today, it has been probably one of the best fielding days in last 1 year. But in bowling department, Bangladeshi bowlers made some mistakes. In a cliffhanger, you cannot bowl 11 extra balls. It's not done. If you look at Sri Lanka's bowling, they are giving away boundaries, sixes. That was okay, but no white balls, no balls. Bangladesh bowled 7 of the white balls, 4 no balls, and eventually it's a 5th no ball which ended the game. 7 white balls means 7 extra balls. 4 no balls means 4 extra balls, which also considered runs in a tight match. We can say that Bangladesh played well, but if you compare, these were the areas which Bangladeshi bowlers will look back and they have to learn. If we talk about bowling, yes, we had some moment of brilliance, but if you look at the bowling, still I believe Bangladesh was a bit below par. Bangladeshi bowlers bowled a lot of easy boundary balls, which in this kind of matches will hurt you. But I will not take anything away from the Sri Lankan batsmen. They were brilliant. They were building up partnerships. Kusal Mendes, Dasun Shanaka, they batted hard out. All credit goes to Sri Lankan batsmen to chase on such a mammoth total. But I'm pretty sure when Bangladeshi boys will come into the dressing room and come and think about this match, they will find out few mistakes they have made, which was not supposed to make in such a day.
Okay, I'm going to go into a lot of those moments in this fine, very entertaining T20 game from a neutral point of view. So I could enjoy it without getting invested into it. I feel for Shahriar Nafees, some thrill for Farveez Maharoof, knowing that their heart still beats for their former sides. But before I get into Ibadat Hossain, Dasun Shanaka, Kusal Mendes, I'd like Farveez to just talk about I didn't think this question would come your way, Farveez. Asita Fernando's batting abilities. Guy who's got a highest T20 score of 9 and a first-class average in 50 games of 4.91. Has hit 10 of the most priceless runs Sri Lanka could have imagined from 3 balls. After Chamika Karunaratne was run out, and you think, that's it, that's the end of the batting. Did you know Asita Fernando could bat or at least hit a couple of boundaries if needed?
I almost switched it off when almost switched off my TV when Chami Karunaratne was run out. But I mean, Asita Fernando is a boy, is someone I could easily call him a warrior. He has done very well in domestic cricket. He has earned his place in the national team. But if you ask the same question before the game started, whether Asita Fernando will be the hero in batting, I will give 0 chances for that, because you don't expect your number 10 to be the hero. So that's sort of a game for Sri Lanka. I mean, you throw out a debutant who bowled pretty well in the first couple of overs and finish off the game with the way he did in chasing down a big score. I just feel Sri Lanka must be in cloud 9 thinking all of these. But spare of thought for Bangladesh. I mean they played their heart out, and also, I think where Shakib got his tactics wrong was finishing up his main 3 bowlers when the 17th over was done. That was Mustafiz, Shakib, and Taskin Ahmed. And Ibadat Hossain on debut, yes, he bowled his first 2 overs very well, but he's going to be tested in death overs. So that's where I think Shakib would have got his tactics wrong. Maybe to have 1 over from one of the 3 bowlers I mentioned, at least in the last 3 overs, would have been a different story. But overall, I think Sri Lanka does deserve it the way they played.
Yeah, that's the sentiment you're getting here is that Bangladesh have lost it just a little more than Sri Lanka have won it. I hope I'm not taking meaning offence for this, but it does seem like Bangladesh's errors are the bigger conversation here than Sri Lanka, because you saw Kushal Mendis in a charmed innings. Dasun Shanaka played brilliantly and fell short. Chamika Karunaratne looked like he was taking them and again fell short. Do you feel that way, Farveez, before I go to Shahriar and Shakib's tactics, that this is a game that Bangladesh lost more than Sri Lanka won?
I think so too. I mean, going into this game, Sri Lanka had more pressure, being the host of the tournament, and also what happened in the media with Dasun Shanaka's press conference, and the way they lost to Afghanistan in the first game. Sri Lanka was definitely under the pump. Whereas Bangladesh, they did play a decent game against Afghanistan, though they lost. So I think, as you said, I think more than Sri Lanka winning it, I think Bangladesh losing it is much more higher.
All right, let's go to the point Farveez Maharoof raised. Shakib's tactics were definitely going to come under scrutiny, and in fairness, he is 2 balls away from ending up on the right side of the result. But given that they've lost, we must explore it. Shahriar, he took a bold call to bowl out his premier bowlers, like Farveez says, at the 17th. It would have left 2 overs of off spin in the last 3 and 1 over by the debutant Ibadat Hossain. Now, did Shakib Al Hasan get his tactics wrong?
It's a very close call. If I scrutiny his decision, probably he could have bowled Ibadat 1 more over when he was bowling brilliantly. Ibadat is a new guy. He mostly plays test red ball cricket. Coming to debut, Ibadat was bowling brilliantly, took 3 wickets. I think he should have finished Ibadat earlier. Other than that, he was trying to take wickets. That's why he bowled himself. He bowled out Taskin, and Mustafiz kept 3 overs for the other bowlers because he was trying to take wickets. But only place he could have done differently, bowled Ibadat out, because Ibadat is a new guy. He is not tested. Even he is not known for his T20 bowling. So he could have bowled his quota earlier and then kept 1 over each from Taskin, Mustafiz, and Mahdi. Mahdi is a bowler who bowls in the death overs. I don't mind bowling him the last over, but Ibadat last 2 overs he gave up a lot of runs because he is not experienced.
Yeah, I think it's a fair point Shahriar makes. Ibadat Hossain was 3 for 13 in his first 2 overs between the 6th and the 9th. He was then taken off and brought back for a crucial 13th over that actually conceded 22. So his last over all of a sudden, after he's picked up 3 wickets, is not the wickets, but the 22 that he conceded, where Kushal Mendis took him down, and eventually that's what he comes into his bowler's final over with under immense pressure. So something for Bangladesh to look back upon if their tactics could have helped them in any way. But the no balls did cost them, Shahriar. Now, is it a real sin today for an off-spinner, especially to bowl front foot no balls. It cost Kushal Mendis a life. It's later cost them the game. Who knows what would have happened in the last couple of balls too. Would you put that down to inexperience or just lack of preparation?
Spinners bowling no ball, there will be no excuses. But I think it's the pressure of the game. Pressure, Bangladesh knew that if they cannot pull that off, there has been a lot of criticism about their T20 performance from the fans, from the media, from every experts. So I think the pressure, but still, spinners bowling no balls, that you cannot do that. Ibadat, he bowled few no balls. That is inexperienced, but still he has been playing cricket for a long time. So those no balls hurt Bangladesh anything. White balls, I understand you're trying hard, but 4-5 no balls in a close match, it is unacceptable. If you look at the match, Raunak, Sri Lanka were never out of the game.
Yes.
From the first ball till the last over, they were always maintaining a run rate which is always achievable. 10 runs, 11 runs, 12 runs in T20 matches, you expect teams to chase it down. So I will give a lot of credit to Sri Lankan batsmen. They calculated brilliantly. They took the chances when they had to. They were brave. They never get the game away from themselves. So Bangladesh made some mistakes which are major, but Sri Lanka was brilliant with the bat today.
Let's talk about the players that kept Sri Lanka in the game with the bat. Farveez, I wonder how you would sum up the Kusal Mendis innings that was filled with chances. Dasun Shanaka, who kept them in the game but could not just see the job through. I think he hates off-spin. And looking at the numbers that were given by our stats team, and that's 9 times in 98 balls or something that he's fallen to off-spin. Hates the off-spinner. But what about those two innings? How would you sum them up?
I mean, at the beginning of the tournament, I mentioned to you that Kusal Mendis is the best opener we have at the moment in the setup. So I think Sri Lanka banks heavily on him to give a good start in the first 6 overs and carry on at least the 16th, 17th over. Yes, he had his own luck, but the way he was striking the ball, he was in magnificent form, and he made sure that one end was held on, and the rest of the players could have played their natural game. Dasun Shanaka, I mean, the ball he got out to, it was right in the slot. In a different day, he would have hit to the second tier. So that's one of those occasions where Dasun Shanaka missed out. I mean, I still back him to finish off a game for Sri Lanka. I know how strong he is, and he has showed it even recent past against Australia up in Pallakele, chasing down 60 runs in the last 3 overs. So we have all seen it about him. But just that this team needed this win to go to the next level, needed some confidence going into it. So I reckon even Dasun Shanaka, for his own confidence, not only as a player but as a captain, this win will have a lot of boost heading into the second round.
Yeah, it's just what they needed, Sri Lanka. Perhaps a little bit of luck is what this side needed. And who's to argue against it? They move to the Super Fours and they live to fight another day in a tournament that they should have hosted but for circumstances beyond anyone's control. So let's move to Bangladesh's review. I wonder what the takeaway would be, Shahriar. They're proud in the Asia Cup. They've been the runners-up in the last 2 editions of the tournament. Today was an interesting day. The contributions or the spotlight was stolen by players other than Shakib, Mushfiqur and Mustafizur Rahman. I wonder if that's a lesson for Bangladesh going forward, whether they need to build their T20 team around the likes of Afif Hussain or Mosaddeq and maybe even Ibadat, and not necessarily focus on the 2-3 players that we know tends to happen in Bangladesh cricket.
Raunak, if you look back in last 5 or 6 years, Bangladesh has been a very consistent side in ODI cricket. Bangladesh has recently picked up in Test match cricket, but this is the format which Bangladesh is bit behind. I must agree. From this tournament, what Bangladesh can take is the way they batted today. The Bangladeshi batters, the confidence they showed. This is how you need to play T20 cricket. Fearless, with a lot big heart. Go there, try to express this. So this can be a starting point. Bangladeshi batters can look back and say, okay, this is how we are going to approach the T20 matches. Eventually, in 6 months or a year or 2, Bangladesh can become a good T20 side. If think about fielding, I must say Bangladesh has improved a lot in fielding. If you can remember, we were discussing Bangladesh's fielding in last World Cup. If you compare with the last World Cup in this tournament, Bangladesh's fielding has been very impressive, and we want to see Bangladeshi boys field carry on this improvement. In terms of bowling, Bangladesh has a lot of things to do here bowling. In T20 it's a specialist game. Bangladeshi bowlers needs to learn very quickly, needs to learn the tactics. In the first few overs in today's match, Bangladeshi bowlers bowled brilliantly, I must say, but it's a dead bowling which hurt themselves against the Afghanistan match, and it hurt today as well. So first of all, you must learn. But this can, batting point of view, this can be a starting point where Bangladesh can build a team. And I'm very happy for the young guys who raised their hand up and performed in this tournament. Afif, if you think about Mossadegh, he has been a gem. In the next coming days, Litton will be the part of this team. Shohan will come back into the squad. So Bangladesh has quite a few young guys whom the team can be built around. So as the challenge will be how fast they learn. If the boys learn quickly, I think the only thing the way Bangladesh can go is go forward.
All right, that is pretty much it then. It's a big thank you to Shahriar Nafees and also to Farveez Maharoof, who we'll see a lot more of as Sri Lanka live to fight another day in this Asia Cup 2022. Gentlemen, thank you very much, and take the evening off. I must ask Farveez, he knows a lot of these current Sri Lankan cricketers. How does Sri Lanka celebrate that kind of win? Farveez, what's going to happen tonight?
I mean, not a long celebration. They have important 3 games coming up. So, I mean, these kind of wins got to be celebrated. That's Sri Lanka's tradition. That's Sri Lanka's dressing room. But got to be careful. And hopefully, another 1 hour's time, United win against Leicester. We'll sum up everything.
He wanted a 1 out of 2 when Sri Lanka played Afghanistan. He got it, but he got it for United. He didn't get it for Sri Lanka. Today he's got it for Sri Lanka. So let's hope, for Farveez Maharoof's sake, that United get the points today, if not over the weekend. No, not over the weekend, just today. All right, thank you very much.
Definitely over the weekend.
Thank you, Farveez. I know that I'll be speaking to you now, either just before or just after that game. So we will discuss football for a little while then, and we will discuss Sri Lankan cricket for a long time now, at least a lot more in this Asia Cup now that they've qualified. They join Afghanistan from this group to move to the Super Fours, and India await the result of Pakistan and Hong Kong to see who joins them. You'd certainly back Babar Azam's side to do the business against Nazakat Khan's Hong Kong in spite of the admirable performance they put up against India. So we'll be with you tomorrow for build-up to that one, the last game of the group stage of Asia Cup 2022, Pakistan versus Hong Kong. Join us right after the toss on Qatar Airways presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout. And we do have 3 out of our 4 confirmed. Likely Pakistan will make the 4th. It makes for a compelling Super 4 contest as well. We'll have you covered right through the rest of the tournament. So do join us tomorrow. What a game we've had tonight. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.